I'm impressed, to say the least. The ZenFone 2 is a great device. Let's get into a full review. It's your man Jay Will. With the screen coming in at 5.5 inches, this is a real beauty. Now the screen isn't the sharpest or best screen I've ever seen on a device, but it definitely does well on this device. The brightness in the sunlight is not as sharp as other devices I've used, but at the same time, this is well worth it when you start to factor in the price and you think about bang for buck. This screen is a 1080p display coming in at 5.5 inches with 403 pixels per inch, and it does look good at certain angles. It's just not as bright as some of my other devices. When it comes to the body, I give this phone 5 stars. If ever I was impressed with the way a phone looked or felt in the hand, this is definitely one of them. I kind of give it the G4 or LG or Moto type body build with the curved sloping screens. I'm not a fan of these off-screen buttons, but they do play a part, and they don't light up, but they're still there. So if in a dark room or something like that, you're gonna have to get used to it because you will not see these light up. It's almost like they're reflective, if anything else. But overall, the dual tone on the camera is okay, but the way this device looks, it's pretty solid. Sound quality on this device was not the greatest because it has a backfiring speaker, and this isn't a full speaker grill. This is actually just the cover. Speaker is a small spot on under the device when you actually pop it open. Nonetheless, it'll still get the job done in a quiet area, but it'll probably be best to put some headphones on. So while we're on the back of the device, the camera is something that I was probably really the most disappointed in. I think the camera falls short in so many ways it almost feels clunky. It just didn't feel right using this this device, this camera. I was not impressed, to say the least, and I think the camera is average at best. But nonetheless, here's a photo that I posted on Google Plus the other night, or a few days back. It's just not too impressive when I compare it to some of my other devices. It's a good camera, but the options here is just so much going on. It was just too much and overwhelming. They do have manual mode, HDR. They have a lot of different settings here, and it kind of gets into the old TouchWiz, or just I can't think of a device that the camera was just bombarded with settings. I've gotten so used to simple settings on the device, or just kind of, it just feels clunky to me. And then on top of that, I want to show you in the settings here with the video recording. If you turn on video stabilization, you're forced to use 720p, which sucks. That is just the worst thing ever. I think that's horrible that you're forced to use 720p if you turn on video stabilization. That's just crazy. It's a 13 megapixel camera, but it's not good at shooting 1080p because it doesn't have optical image stabilization. So I don't know how they decided to figure that out and balance out this camera, but this was probably one of the worst parts of the phone that I had ever seen. It's not a horrible camera, but it's definitely far from one of the tops that I've used. But nonetheless, it's still nice. Web browsing on the phone, obviously if you have a 5.5 inch display, no matter what the screen looks like, you're getting more real estate, so it's going to come across pretty nice. I wasn't sad with that. The processing power behind this makes for a great web browsing experience. This has an Intel Atom, and this is a 2 gig variant, and RAM clocked at 1.8 gigahertz. Nonetheless, I ran benchmarks on it, and it scored about almost 41,000 on Antutu. For people that think that's important, that's what it scored. It's pretty good though. It's a pretty good quad-core phone, and I was pretty impressed with how fast this phone actually moves. It's really nice. The way it looks, the way it moves, and the software is sweet, to say the least. Call quality on this bad boy is pretty good. I really like it. I didn't have any kind of drop calls on the T-Mobile network. and the people came across really clear. I could hear them and they can hear me very well, and it was really nice. As far as features of this phone, out of the box, I think one of the main things I was impressed with is the way you can customize the phone. This is one of the best features I've seen come out of the box on a phone in a long time. So they come with themes, all the transitions. You can use icon packs. You can even change the font right out of the box. I mean, literally, you can change it. You can change the color, the size, and the type of font. And I think that's seriously a great effect on the phone. And I think the last thing I want to talk about is the battery. The battery on this thing, it really does well, actually. I was able to get almost 5 hours of battery time on here. I just took it off the charger right before this review. But nonetheless, I was able to get almost 5 hours on a single charge on the second charge. And I think it'll just improve over time, just like most other devices. The more you use it, it kind of figures out your pattern and how you're using it, and then you'll get the peak of your battery. But if you can't control yourself with the battery, you can actually go into settings and go into the battery settings, because this phone allows you to do so. And you go into your power management here, and you can actually turn on ultra power saving mode, because it has all these different modes here for your battery. So this is why this phone does really good in the battery section, because it has an ultra saving mode, which really works. I actually have mine set to turn on to ultra power saving mode at 15%. Most phones just have a regular standby or regular battery saving mode at that time, at that percentage. But this one actually allows you to put it automatically into ultra power saving mode at 15%. So that's my thoughts on the ZenFone 2. Not too many bad things to say about it. It is really good. If you are wondering if you should get the 2 gig or the 4 gigs of RAM version, I will leave that up to you. I personally think the 2 gig version is more than enough. I don't have any problems with slowdowns or stutters or anything like that. Like I said before, the only disappointment I really had was really the camera. It was, you know, just average at best, and the sound quality is kind of just okay. It is a backfiring speaker, so that kind of contributes to that. So there you have it. That's my take on the ZenFone 2, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Windows fans, stay tuned. I haven't forgotten you, because you know I love Windows Phone 2. I'll see you guys in the next video. It's your man Jay Will. Take care.
Alright everybody, thanks for stopping by. It's your man Jay Will. I really appreciate you watching that video. Be sure to rate, subscribe, thumbs up if you like the video, so I can continue to bring you great content, lots of different products, and everything that you might enjoy in technology. So, deuces, peace, arrivederci, ciao, bella, sayonara. I don't know how to say it in any other African or Chinese or anything. Alright, holla.